improvement. So if you read the paper, it says that the learning is saturating, meaning that more training isn't helping. So we have these things that match passages. We have things that understand the type of things. We have things that look at dates. It's important in Jeopardy. We did not have negation at the time, so we didn't understand no fever versus has fever. So these sorts of things that we couldn't do, like negation, like understanding the relation between medical concepts, we had to add that to the system by hand, by writing algorithms. And that's called functional adaptation, and we spent, I think the paper says we spent about 6 months on it, and that's the jump from the green to the blue line. We spent by far the most amount of effort on this and did not get much gain, because it's hard work. And it's coming up with new ways of thinking about the problem, it's inventing new techniques, and it's hard. These are also fairly easy questions. They're Jeopardy style in that they have only one right answer. And they typically have all the information you need. So we wanted to think about using it for things like diagnosis, and that's what this graph up in the corner shows. Is one example from the paper of the patient has a circular rash, fever, headache, and a family history of arthritis in a patient who lives in Connecticut. And we're trying to, and the system comes up with two possibilities by looking in the passages like I showed you before. And it says Lyme disease or sarcoidosis, and it picks the right one, Lyme disease. Now there's no AI system in the history of the world that has not gotten at least one question right. At least one demoable instance it will get right. And so well, the question is how many does it get right? And this was encouraging to us because we got that one right, which is a more serious case, but this was showing us how we were doing statistically, which we liked. Now, so Watson's coming into medicine. There's been a lot of talk about where Watson is going next and where other computer systems are going next. And I don't actually know Watson. I don't work at IBM anymore. But I have been a fan of everything Watson's doing, and I've also been an eager observer of where else this computerization or automation is going. And this magazine came out last month, this issue of The Economist. And they looked at what jobs the robots will take. And there's a list over here, things like the probability they're going to take your job. And recreational therapists and dentists and athletic trainers and clergy are safe. Whereas if you're down here, if you're a word processor or a real estate sales agent, technical writers, retail salespersons, accountants, and telemarketers, you're in trouble because they're coming for you. And this thing was all over the web. And there were, I think, 15,000 retweets or something. It was huge. Everybody was talking about it. People are arguing that it means we have to teach our kids JavaScript and so that they can become programmers instead of real estate sales agents. Now, I was curious about where this came from. Like, how do you get such a precise probability that something's going to